The president of COP26, Alok Sharma, is in South Africa. He has met with the South African team on climate change in Pretoria and reaffirmed the UK's ongoing commitment to the Just Energy Transition Partnership with the country. The UK has also announced a further 30 million rand for new technical assistance and partnerships on supporting South Africa's just energy transition. The country's Just Energy Transition Partnership was announced at COP26 last year. It aims to accelerate the decarbonisation of South Africa's economy by bolstering the electricity system and moving away from coal.
The Just Energy Transition Partnership between the 5 countries, as you know, and South Africa. The president of COP26 is here with his delegation to actually check progress that has actually been made towards accessing the funding that is available. It was also used to clarify all the issues with regard to what type of funding it is, what is a new funding, what is old funding, components of funding, the channels of accessing that money. All those issues have been discussed and questions have been raised regarding that, which will be clarified later. But what is clear is that it was a very cordial meeting, very mutually respectful. There's a desire to actually take this partnership off the ground. I'm quite very happy on behalf of the country, and I'm sure Mr. President will also say his own view on this matter.
From South Africa's perspective, what was your message before I speak to the President of COP26?
Our message as South Africa is that in the just transition and in making sure that a resilient society is put in place, we actually expressed our commitment to be worthy global participants in that regard. And I think in a number of ways, a number of facts were articulated which demonstrate our commitment to that. We're very much excited, by the way, to participate in that process. Thank you very much.
What was your message, Mr. President, to the South African team?
Well, I think firstly, I was delighted that we had so many ministers who came for this discussion, and I think it shows the real commitment that there is on the part of South Africa as part of that just transition, but also working together with the international partners on the Just Energy Transition Partnership. And my message was that we are totally committed to this from the perspective of the countries that are supporting it, UK and of course others as well, and we want to make sure that we work on this together so we can get to a point by the time we get to COP27 we're able to show further progress as well. But I think, as the Minister said, it was a very cordial discussion. We had a frank but incredibly friendly exchange of views. We've agreed a way forward on how we move this and provide even further momentum, and I certainly have felt this has been a really constructive discussion.
And finally, Mr. President, this comes at a time where the war in Ukraine has kind of affected countries in terms of energy supply and gas. And we see countries such as Germany saying they will have to resort back to use of coal. What's your view when we are pushing the developing nations to adopt this just transition concept? But the developed nations, particularly the industrialized nations, the 7, and now considering use of coal?
Well, I think the first thing I'd say, and this is a point I made at the meeting today, is that what we're talking here about is a transition which takes time. This isn't about turning off a switch overnight. And I think that's something we all understand, whether it's in South Africa or in the United Kingdom or any other country as well. I think in terms of the war in Ukraine as a result of Mr. Putin's illegal invasion, is that countries have understood that you are vulnerable if you are relying on fossil fuels which are controlled by a hostile actor, and what you're seeing in response is firstly that countries have understood they need to speed up their renewables journey. You're seeing that across a range of countries as well that have put forward their plans. Secondly, I think what you're seeing is a very clear realization that climate security, environmental security are very much interlinked with energy and national security as well. Now, you're right, you are seeing for countries to meet their immediate energy needs potentially using more coal. But I think what this should allow them to do then is to have the space to speed up the transition to clean energy, and I think that's what you're seeing announced by countries around the world right now.